got cruises in Singapore, we got cruises in the Middle East, and we got a restart of cruising in January in Italy. It begs the question, why are there no cruises in the United States? Why is this taking so long? In today's episode of the Cruise News Show, we'll look at the cruise news. There's a pile of it. And we'll also lay out some reasons why the cruise restart in North America is going so slow. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Cruise News Show. I'm your host Tony, here with the latest cruise updates. Well, we got a full course meal for you today when it comes to cruise news. For the appetizer, we'll be looking at cruises restarting around the world. Also in the appetizer section, we'll throw in a sad story about a classic cruise ship going to the scrapyard. For your main course today, though, we will talk about how CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, making a full court press at the government in the UK. Give us a timeline. That's what they're saying. I'll tell you that story. And then for dessert, we will talk about why the cruise restart in the United States going so slow. What are some of the contributing factors? Tuck that napkin into your collar and let's get to chomping. Story number one, cruises set to resume in Italy in January 2021. Costa ready to give it another shot. Cruises have been shut down in Italy over the last couple months because of an increased case count in that region, but the government is relenting, allowing Costa to get their cruising going again. The cruises will start on January the 31st, 2021. Costa will be putting into service the Costa Deliziosa cruise ship. This is a mid-sized cruise ship built in 2009, maximum capacity a little over 2,300 passengers. It's taking over the itineraries for the Costa Smeralda. Costa Smeralda, the newest Costa cruise ship, put into service just last year in 2020 with a guest capacity of over 5,000. Costa in a statement saying the reason they're tapping the Deliziosa is because it's a more flexible cruising experience. It will be offering 3-day, 4-day, and 7-day sailings, and flexibility, that is the key in this uncertain time. They feel like the smaller cruise ship of the two, it will be more flexible for changed itineraries, for quick response, for passenger count. So Costa, the Carnival Corporation cruise brand, firing up one ship there in Italy. The Smeralda's itineraries will be announced shortly. Now, Costa, not the only Carnival Corporation cruise brand seeing some action in January 2021. Aida Cruises also deploying a ship for cruises in January 2021. The Aida Prima cruise ship will be sailing from Dubai in late January 2020, making a port stop in Muscat, which is in the country of Oman. This is the first time the cruise ships will be allowed in Oman since the shutdown, and this opens up Oman for other cruise lines. Aida making a couple stops in February in the country, and MSC also visiting the country in February. So another region sees cruising resume in January 2021. Story number three is a sad tale of a cruise ship finally at the end of her life. The 55-year-old Marco Polo cruise ship is heading to the scrapyard. Marco Polo, a very nostalgic and popular cruise ship. It was part of CMV, Cruise and Maritime Voyages fleet. Sadly, Cruise and Maritime Voyage going out of business during the shutdown, forced to auction off her fleet, while other members of the Cruise and Maritime Voyage fleet have gone on to other cruise companies. The Marco Polo did not fare as well, and she will be heading to a shipyard in India to be broken up. What used to be Marco Polo will now just be Marco. So sad. All right, that was the appetizer, and let's treat this next segment as a little sorbet to cleanse your palate before we move on to the entree. The palate cleanser for today's show is a familiar one. It's the invitation to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you enjoy staying locked into that cruise life, getting your cruise news updates, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to the main course. The Cruise Line International Association, or CLIA, That's what we call it, CLIA. They've sent a letter to the government in the UK saying we need a timeline for the restart of cruising. There's a blanket open-ended cruise ban in place in the UK. It was put in place by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and basically it said don't go cruising anywhere if you're a UK citizen. River cruises are excluded from this, but this is ocean cruises. Don't cruise out of the UK. Don't cruise anywhere. This is a big deal in the UK because it's going to nullify all travel insurance with this order in place, and it really puts the UK cruising economy on hold. And while the blanket ban is good for passenger safety, it's really tough for the cruise business. CLIA, in their letter to the government, and I'll paraphrase, they said, we've been working closely with the government. We've been developing health and safety protocols. We've been doing this hand in hand. We've done our part, and now we need the government to give us some sort of timeline. We're moving into the wave season, which is traditionally when many cruises are booked. We're trying to build customer confidence, and without any kind of reasonable timeline, well, that's really hard to do. It's hard for the cruise companies to develop a plan for restart. And so they're appealing to the government there in the UK for a timeline for the restart of cruising. Man, the timing's bad on this. The UK just went into another lockdown. And so, I don't know, I think it's really hard for the cruise companies that are trying to make decisions in an absolute vacuum where there's no certainty about anything. It does seem like they are saying, throw us a bone. Maybe, even if it's 6 months down the road, I mean, they don't say that in the letter, but it's got to be something like that. If it's sometime in the future, at least tell us a date so that we can plan, so that we can promote that cruising will start again in the UK. CLIA making the same common appeals that we do all over the world, that cruising impacts the economy. They're pointing out that it's about a $10 billion impact on the economy there in the UK, about 88,000 UK jobs affected by the cruising shutdown. And they're just asking, when can we cruise again? It will be interesting to see what kind of response they get to this appeal. But CLIA going hard at the government there in the UK. All right, let's have some dessert. If you've tracked along with the show this far, you see that the early stories are about cruising restarted. And we just talked about the UK, where there's really no concrete hope of a date for a cruise restart. And that really is the state of the world. You see cruising starting in a lot of places, Italy, Greece, Singapore, China. Cruises are going to happen possibly in New Zealand. And there's some places in the world where it just doesn't seem like cruising's ever going to restart. And the United States, North America, that is one of those places. And I just wanted to lay out some of the factors why I believe that it's so slow for the cruise restart. The cruise industry got some relief at the end of October, where the no-sail order went away, where the conditional framework for sailing came into play from the CDC. The cruise lines have the opportunity to get their cruise ships ready and their crew ready to sail again. They just have to meet the requirements of the government, but it just doesn't seem like a lot's happening in that space. And what are some of the reasons why? Well, look, obviously the main reason why we are slow to restart cruising in North America is that the infection rate continues to climb, the fatality rate continues to climb, and until those things decrease, I cannot see a viable restart of cruising in North America. Another component that I do think is at play is uncertainty about politics here in the United States. We are 16 days from when the administration may possibly change. There's still a lot of political infighting going on around the election. And I think until we flesh all that out and see where the dust settles after January the 21st, I think that's playing a part in the slow pace of the cruise restart here in the United States. If the administration changes, there's a question as to what the attitude of the new administration will be toward travel, toward cruising. We have to wait and see what happens there. And I think the third reason why there is a slow movement toward the restart of cruising in North America is also another wait and see what happens when it comes to mass inoculation. Will we reach a point where much of the population is inoculated? And if so, how will that change the cruise dynamic? Will you still need all of the health and safety protocols? Will cruising go back to normal? I think there's a huge reason why the restart may be going slow. Problem, though, is if we're waiting and seeing on the inoculation, it could be most of 2021 before the population gets inoculated. So can the cruise lines wait out a whole nother year of not cruising? I just can't see how that is possible. But right now, at the beginning of January 2021, this restart is moving so slow. The numbers have to go down. There's no escaping that. If we see the numbers drop off drastically, that's going to be a great signal. But until we see that at the minimum, I'm very skeptical about the pace of the cruise restart here in North America. Ooh, do you feel full? Question for the comments is this: what do you think is slowing down the cruise restart in the US? Of those three things that I mentioned, or offer one of your own. Do you think it's the numbers, the politics, or do you think it's the inoculation? Thank you so much for watching the show today. Show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.